All right, so we're going to be doing a reaction between copper 2 chloride dihydrate, which is copper 2 chloride that has basically attached itself to 2 water molecules, and aluminum. So I'm missing my aluminum. Let me go grab that. Okay, so what we are going to do in the lab is first make a solution of copper 2 chloride. So we're going to take our pre-measured copper 2 chloride. The amount is listed on your lab sheet, and we're going to combine it with the water, 100 milliliters of distilled water, which we've already added to this beaker. Then I'm going to use my glass stir rod in order to completely stir and dissolve all of the copper 2 chloride. So there should be none left in the beaker as a solid when I am done. Okay, at this point, the liquid is completely dissolved. You'll notice the solution is blue. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in, sorry guys, hang on a second. There we go. I'm going to add in our aluminum foil. So aluminum foil is just pure aluminum metal, and we're going to rip it into very small pieces and add it to our beaker. I'm avoiding crumpling them so that as much of the foil can touch the liquid as possible. And then I'm going to stir. As I stir, on your paper, make sure you are recording observations of what is happening in the beaker. I'm continuing to stir until I see that there is no silver-colored aluminum left in the beaker. Right now I can still see some little bits of aluminum. Okay. At this point, basically all of the aluminum has been reacted, and any tiny amounts that haven't should be soon. It's hard to see what's going on right now because I've stirred the beaker so much. But as we let this sit, you're going to start to see some bits of copper, which you can see some pieces right there. Okay, settling out of the solution. All right. So now that I have stirred everything and reacted all of my aluminum, I'm going to take my whole sample over to the filter. I'm going to put this out of the way because we're not using that right now. Okay. And I'm going to set this up so that this content is going to filter through this paper filter. It's set up like a funnel. And basically the filter paper will catch all of the solid while the liquid goes through and is collected down here in the Erlenmeyer flask. I'm going to set up my camera as best I can right here so you can kind of see what's happening. Okay. You can start to see that there's some solid settling in the bottom of the beaker. So that's what we're going to filter out. So I'm going to kind of dry that for a second. Okay, and I'll just keep that in there for safekeeping. So I'm going to slowly pour the liquid through the filter. And you're going to have to take it in sections because it takes a little bit for that filter to let the water through. Or not water, but the solution. We use an Erlenmeyer flask because as this is dripping, any splashback hits the walls of the flask instead of popping back out like it might out of the top of a beaker. From the top of the filter, you can see there's liquid funneling through, and there's little bits of solid copper that are also being poured through and are going to get caught on that filter paper. As you can see, now that I've dumped most of my liquid, you get a pretty good view of all of that red, brown, copper metal in the bottom. So you can see kind of those little crystals of copper down there. Okay. Towards the end, you're going to notice that some of your solid gets stuck in the container. This is why we have wash bottles. So I have a wash bottle just with plain distilled water in it. Once I have some more space in my funnel, I will use this to rinse this out and filter it into the funnel. All right. So now, as you can see, I have gotten pretty much all of that copper out of the beaker. You'll notice, right, that there is a distinct color in the filtered solution. So think about which chemical is still here that is causing that bright blue color. All right, and remember, the colors of all the chemicals are noted on your lab paper. So now that's all we have to do is wait for that to finish filtering. When it is finished filtering, we will take this apart and remove this paper. Sometimes we'll give it a little bit of a squeeze just to get out any excess liquid. And then what we will do is take that paper and lay it out to dry, like this example here. You can see this has only been drying for a few hours, but here is some of our copper metal that is drying out. All right. The next day, we'll have to come back after it's had 24 hours to dry and weigh the final mass of our produced copper.